guys, and welcome to the next day in Doctor Who December. So today is a little bit different, but something that I've done before, and what's really kind of, I guess, funny to me, I don't really know, is the fact that whenever I do any sort of reading type videos, which I've done a couple of times, whether it's kind of summaries of things or actual reading from a book, or anything like that, I always think, you know, nobody wants this. This is just not the best content. But whenever I post the videos, you guys are like, that was lovely. And I get a really positive response from you guys. So earlier this year, I did see somewhere floating in the internet, probably Twitter, I don't entirely remember, that, Stephen Moffat wrote a kind of short story or something, a news story, and I kind of thought to myself, oh, that might be something like a nice video to do. But again, I was going back and forth of whether or not you guys would want to see this. But when I did decide that I wanted to do a Doctor Who December, this kind of got slotted in. So if this is something that maybe you guys would enjoy, it's going to be a little story time. You guys are going to, kind of, I guess, just sit and listen to me reading this short story. If that's your thing, then this is the video for you. If it's not, there will be another video tomorrow. So I am pretty excited to read and to see what this is going to be like and all of that. Yeah, I'm excited. So get some type of, I hope you get all kind of warm and cozy, get a nice warm beverage, whether it's tea or apple cider or hot cocoa, whatever. And I hope you enjoy me reading this story. Okay, so a good portion of this video is going to be me looking down right there because that's where I'm reading from, if you could see. It's right there. Okay, my laptop. So the story is called The Terror of the Umpty Ums. Come on, guys. I feel like that is the most Doctor Who title I think I've ever heard. All right. Let's get into it. The reeking flesh mass was silent for a moment before twisting and stretching its upper frontal skin lumps into a new configuration. Okay. What? All right. Sorry. I'll keep... Carpagnons, oh man, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Visual circuits processed and pattern matched the configuration within 2 nanoseconds. Apparently the human was smiling. Okay. Carpagnon considered for a moment and elected not to retaliate. Did you hear me? Emitted the human from its flapped aperture. Did you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? The encoded sound stream was accompanied by a fresh flow of smells, also emanating from the aperture. Carpagnon's, oh boy, this is going to be a long story, sensory filter began processing the new odors, while his tactical monitor noted that they were unlikely to be directly significant to the human's communication. The light spray of moisture was similarly dismissed. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Dr. Johnson and Dr. Ahmed will be here too. Do you remember them? No explicit threat detected, noted the tactical monitor, while the strategic oversight junction added that an implied, non-explicit threat was still possible. Oh. But then the strategic oversight junction was like that. Beef and onions, advised the sensory filter. It's funny. Carpegnon, oh my god, why? All right, I'm gonna call this character K, okay? Are we good with that? Because I just don't want to keep butchering it. And it seems like it might be main character. Okay. Kay scanned the habitation box again, but there was no new information of tactical value. There was the little bed, which he had to pretend to sleep in, the window, which was barred, and the door, which was open at the moment. His scan ended on the human. Dr. Petrie, I believe, proffered a context-activated memory bubble, who was sitting on the chair by the bed and clearly expecting a reply. Kay sifted among the options presented by his various diplomatic interface modules and selected appropriately. Yes, he said. I received and understood your communication, and I remember Dr. Johnson and Dr. Ahmed. I shall destroy your world and all who breed here in fire and anguish. I hope you enjoyed your beef and onions. Damn. I'll be seeing you then, said Dr. Petrie, and rose to go. I shall eviscerate you at the first opportunity, replied Kay. Good night. As Dr. Petrie moved towards the door, the tactical monitor advised, escape must be initiated in 2.7 hours in full darkness. The Strategic Oversight Junction further advised, all humans in the installation should be destroyed before departure. The human designated as Dr. Petrie is the priority target. The sensory filter noted, the sweat gland emissions from the human designated as Dr. Petrie reveal significant adrenal content. This indicates Dr. Petrie has a fear reaction in the upper quartile. And a big bottom, added another voice. If Kay could have frowned, he would have. Where did that come from? He did a quick internal scan, but couldn't source the unexpected data stream. I mean, you wouldn't expect it from the front, but then he turns around and boom. Identify untagged data stream, demanded Kay. I mean, size of that thing could take your eye out. Identify untagged data stream, repeated Kay. No untagged data stream detected, replied the internal data relay monitor. Wow, there's a lot of technical, I'm getting tripped on my words. Okay, I'm sorry guys. Kay considered for a moment. The additional stress of maintaining his holographic shell, currently projecting an image of a 12-year-old boy called David, could conceivably be causing glitches in the logic junctions. Perhaps it was no more than that. A temporary shutdown would fix the problem. In any event, it would be wise to refresh the systems before the escape. For appearance's sake, Kay swung his legs round so that he could lie down on the bed and switch his hologram eyes to the closed position. As he lay there, he listened to his internal relay shutting down one by one. Tactical monitor going offline. Strategical oversight junction going offline. Sensory filter entering sleep mode. Internal delay on alert mode only. For a moment, there was only ticking darkness. Night, fam! Kay awoke. 2.7 hours had passed, according to his chrono register. He swiveled his head to look at the window and confirmed that darkness had fallen. Then got up from the bed, checked his hologram status in the mirror. The shell was holding. He waited for a moment, allowing his systems to come online. As usual, the tactical monitor was first. Recommendation: human casualties to be avoided during escape. Kay notices his hologram shell was frowning in the mirror, which was odd because he didn't know it could do that. Sorry, could you repeat your last recommendation? Human casualties to be avoided during escape, repeated the tactical monitor. In the mirror, the hologram shell was looking positively bewildered, which was definitely a new feature. "Why?" asked Kay. "New protocol," replied the tactical monitor. "Cruelty and cowardice to be avoided." Oh. "Destruction of humans within this installation now designated as cruel and cowardly." "What new protocol?" demanded Kay. "Oops, sorry, that was probably me." It was the voice again, the untagged data stream. But where was it coming from? "I got bored, you see," the voice continued. "Thought I'd do a bit of housekeeping, long as I'm here. Love a bit of rewiring me, and I get bored when I'm asleep. I can't be doing with all that sleeping. There's too many planets. What if you sleep and miss a whole planet? Nightmare, yeah?" "Who are you?" demanded Kay. "Just a friend. Who wants to help? We're doing an escape, right? I'm top at escaping." "I require no assistance," said Kay. "Strategic Oversight Junction. Please run a diagnostic on the tactical monitor. There seems to be some kind of interference." Kay waited, but there was no response. "Strategic Oversight Junction. Please run a diagnostic on the tactical. Can't we at least discuss this as the Strategic Oversight Junction with a new tone in the digital overlay that could only be described as cross? I mean, why has it always got to be what you say? What if anyone else has an opinion? Did you ever think about that?" "Oh dear," said the voice. "My influence, I'm afraid. You see, I do like a flat management structure. Always run one by always run one myself from top to bottom. Obviously, I have to be at the top. No offense to anyone else. It's just a thing. You're interfering with my systems? Tell you what, I'll just switch them off, shall I? Then we can get on with the escaping." There was a soft clicking as Kay's internal system started shutting down. "Who are you?" he demanded. "Shouldn't we be getting on with it, the escaping? Time to start sneaking downstairs, I think. Who are you and what are you doing in my head?" "Well, who are you and what are you doing in this place?" Kay was about to refuse to answer the question when, to his surprise, he found himself answering the question. "I am Kay, a Deathborg 400 warrior class." Whoa. A Deathborg. Oh boy. "I was forged in the weapon groves of Villengard. And I am on a surveillance mission on the 21st century Earth." "In a children's home?" "The details of my assignment are forbidden knowledge." "Well, I better not ask you about it in case you start telling me everything for no particular reason." "I am not so compliant," snarled Kay. But he couldn't help noticing he had left the room and was now sneaking down the stairs, just as the voice had wanted him to. "Deathborg 400, she was saying. "Did they have 399 before you that didn't work out? It's not a reassuring number, is it?" "Who are you?" he asked. "Okay, you know who I am. You've known all along." "Tell me." "I'm the doctor." Kay came to a halt 4 steps from the foot of the stairs. Had he been programmed for any kind of shock, he would have been experiencing it right now. "The doctor?" "Oh, look at your memory banks lighting up. Heard of me then?" "Heard of her?" "Oh boy, the Ka Farak Gotri," I think, replied Kay. "The oncoming storm, the bringer of darkness, the imp of the Pandorica, the final victor of the Time War. A few of my hits. I'm glad you've been paying attention." "You are known to many as the greatest warrior in the universe." "I'm not a warrior, but have it your way." "How can you be in my mind?" "Well, what if I were to tell you I'm talking to you through an earpiece?" Kay rapidly processed this intelligence. How could my defenses be breached and an earpiece applied? Wrong question. How could an earpiece rewire my internal logic relays? Still, wrong question. Kay reached up to locate the earpiece, but "Don't touch it!" snapped the doctor. "Touch the earpiece and this is over. I will not help you." "I do not take orders," thundered Kay, though he couldn't help noticing he lowered his hand. "Why would a Deathborg 400 need your help?" he protested, in a slightly higher register than he really intended. Oh, guys, I guess I said that wrong. "Because you want to get out of here," replied the doctor, "which is fine by me, because I don't want a Deathborg 400 wandering around a children's home. The front door is 20 feet in front of you. Shall we get going?" "First, I must destroy this installation and all humans within it." "It's not an installation. It's a children's home." "First, I must destroy this children's home and all the humans within it." "Well, that seems a bit mean to me, but okay. Better go to the kitchen, yeah?" "Why the kitchen?" "It's where they keep all the Bernie stuff. You know where the kitchen is, don't you, Kay?" Of course, Kay descended the rest of the stairs and headed through the shadowed, silent corridors to the kitchen. "Why are you so afraid of humans?" asked the doctor. "I do not fear humans. I despise them." "Oh, come on. I'm sitting in your ear. I can see your whole brain. Of course you fear them." "I hate all humanity." "Yeah, but that's the point, isn't it? You hate them. Hate is just fear out loud." "I know nothing of fear," said Kay as he entered the deserted kitchen. "Well, I know everything. I'd have to, me. What with the Daleks and the Cybermen and the Weeping Angels." "These creatures are known to me." "Of course they are. Everyone's scared of them. And the Sontarans and the Slovene." Let's not talk about the Slovene. Let's breeze on past that. And of course, the Umptyums. Kay scanned his databanks twice. The Umptyums? Oh, they're the worst. Nothing scares me like the Umptyums. They are unknown to me. Oh, if you know about me, you know about the Umptyums. But never mind that now. We're in the kitchen. What are we actually going to do? Kay stood in the middle of the large, dark kitchen and found himself reluctant to do anything at all. Finally, he said, "This house must burn." "Oh, do you think so? Isn't that a bit much?" "This house must burn," he insisted, louder this time. "All the people will burn too. That's a bit unfair. There's a lot of kids here, you know." "I care nothing for humanity. This house will burn." "But the thing is, you don't really want to do that, do you, Kay?" Kay scanned his function drives. It was true. He was detecting, what was that? Reluctance? Had this strange, prattling woman, who was also the most dangerous warrior in the universe, interfered with his base programming? "Do you want to know why you're reluctant, Kay?" "I am not reluctant," he lied. "Strategy, that's all. Proper military strategy. I mean, you're a Deathborg 400 on an undercover mission on planet Earth. Burning this house down will only draw attention to you." Kay considered. "Correct," he declared. "So here's a compromise. Instead of burning the house down, why don't we turn the heating up really high?" "The heating?" "Yeah, that'll show them. They'll be sweating all night, the human fools. Oh, those sheets will be dripping." There was a typo. "But I require vengeance," protested Kay. Vengeance isn't turning the heating up. But he couldn't help noticing he'd already twisted the heating control dial right up to maximum. "Well done, Kay. They'll know better than to mess with you in the future. Now let's get out of here and leave those puny humans to get uncomfortably hot." "No," said Kay. Oh, come on, this escape is taking forever. I mean, I like to draw them out a bit, but this is ridiculous. First, I must destroy the human known as Dr. Petrie. Oh, okay, if we must, we must. Let's pop along and destroy Dr. Petrie then. Where would we find him this time of night? As usual, Dr. Petrie had been working late in his office when Kay slipped silently through the door, maximum stealth mode. He saw Petrie sprawled in his chair with his head hanging over the back. He was snoring so heavily, it almost seemed to rattle the teacup on his desk. Sorry, guys. If you hear that, my dog just came up. Sorry. Under the teacup, Kay noticed a scatter of papers, mostly with photographs pinned to them. The photographs were all of David, Kay's hologram disguise. Uh-oh. Here we go. Well then, what shall we do with him? Asked the doctor. Melt him? Miniaturize him? Random phase his atomic structure? I don't really know how to do that last one, but it sounds cool. Again, Kay found himself reluctant to act. What was wrong with him? He hated Dr. Petrie more than any other living thing. He had... sorry. And he had hated quite a lot of living things. Why do you hate him, Kay? Kay hesitated. He humiliated me. Oh, I don't think he meant to. He was trying to help. Remember, he thinks you're a little boy called David with a dissociative personality disorder. Oh, not a Deathborg 400 from the weapon groves of Villengard. David is a fiction. Oh yeah, of course he is. I know that. But you see, you put so much detail into the disguise, abandoned by his parents, all those people being so cruel to him. I don't think Dr. Petrie was humiliating you. I think he was trying to help. He just didn't know you were a Deathborg. You must get that a lot. This is getting very sweet and emotional and oh boy, okay. Okay. No matter, I will not be pitied. I will have my vengeance and he will be destroyed. Fair enough. Your call. On you go, then. Melt away. But once again, Kay found himself strangely reluctant to act, and Dr. Petrie just kept on snoring, louder and louder. You know what the problem is, said the doctor at last. It's strategy again. If you destroy Dr. Petrie, it will draw attention to you. You can't blow your cover like that. So what we need is another clever compromise. What do you suggest? Well, instead of boring old destroying him, why don't we do the one thing human beings really can't stand? Why don't you go with me on this? Draw a mustache on his face. Drawing a mustache is not proper vengeance, said the Deathborg 400 as it reached for a marker pen. At last the front door stood in front of him, unguarded, noted Kay, with grim satisfaction. Freedom was now only inches away. What are you waiting for? Said the doctor in his ear. Kay reached for the door handle. Hesitated. Don't worry, it's quiet out there, said the doctor. No Cybermen or Daleks, not even a trace of the Umpty. Kay steeled himself and opened the door. The cold air filled his lungs. The wind rushed in the trees, and distantly there was the sound of traffic. The sky was packed with clouds, but the moon peeked through. Lungs? Said the doctor. What do you mean lungs? Kay took another breath, so cold he found himself shivering. How can you have lungs if you're a Deathborg 400? Deathborgs don't have lungs. A cat was slinking along a wall. It glanced at Kay and flicked out of sight. The traffic sighed, and the train rattled, and the wind stirred in his hair. The doctor's voice was gentler now. Close the door, David. You'll catch your death. No, roared the mind of Kay. No, this shall not be. He strode out into the night. The concrete was freezing on his bare feet, and the wind tugged at his pajamas. He stumbled to a halt and found himself rooted to the spot. He wasn't programmed for terror, but somehow he was feeling it now. "Come on, David," said the doctor. "You understand now, don't you? I know you do." "Cease your words of lies," cried Kay. "If you're tired of my words, David, why don't you take out the earpiece?" David reached to his ear. Then he tried the other ear. There is no earpiece. More to the point, there are ears. Why would a Deathborg have ears, David? A Deathborg with ears and lungs? What kind of cyborg is that? "But I hear your voice." "I'm not in your ear, David. I'm in your head. And you're not a Deathborg. You're a little boy called David Carpagnon." Why can't I say that? Okay. "And it is way past your bedtime." "This is not true. You are using your Time Lord powers to disable and corrupt my data systems." "No, I'm not. And I couldn't even if I wanted to." "Do you know why I couldn't, David?" "The doctor is known to have telepathic skills beyond that of ordinary mortals." "Who told you that? How do you know so much about me? Where did you learn it all from?" Kay broke off as a terrible truth unfolded in his mind. It couldn't be true. It simply couldn't. And yet, as he stood there in the cold and the dark, he saw that it was true as anything ever could be. He took another breath of freezing air and said the words out loud. "I watched you on television." "Yeah, great show, isn't it?" "Doctor Who." "That's the one. That's me. But I'm not allowed to call myself that on screen. I don't know why. It's a brilliant name." "You're not real." "Well, not in the limited sense of real, no. But I kept you straight tonight, didn't I? I'm real enough for that." Oh. "You're a character in a TV show." "Yes, that's right. I am. But really, I'd like to direct." David stood in silence. He barely felt the cold now. "Do you like the music, by the way? Always scares me." Oh. Sorry. "Do you like the music, by the way? Always scares me. Umpty 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 umpty. "I don't understand." "Well, it's a scary noise, isn't it? I always get wound up when I know I'm about to hear it. That's why I start shouting towards the end of the episodes." That's cute. Sorry. "But how can you be in my head?" "I go where there are monsters to fight. We've been fighting monsters tonight, you and me. You see, that's the story of the music. I always think the umpty-ums, that's the noise of the monsters. But then it goes woohoo." Don't think I can make. I think the woohoo is me riding to the rescue. Oh, that's beautiful. I feel like I'm never gonna watch the intro the same ever. "You can't rescue anyone. You're just a story. We're all stories in the end." "But do you know what a story is, David? It's an idea. And do you know what an idea is? It's a thought so big and so clever it can outlive you. It can fly out of your head and into other people's. Like I'm in your head right now, keeping you right. Never cruel, never cowardly. Always the doctor." David sighed. He was starting to feel the cold again. He looked back at the house, which suddenly looked so warm. "It won't be easy," said the doctor. "None of it will be easy, ever. But I'll always be there." David walked back into the house and went up the stairs and got into bed. A few hours later, David woke up and stared at the ceiling for a while, thinking about things. I get very scared sometimes, he said. Woo-hoo, said the doctor. And that's it. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. I thought that was just so lovely. Oh my God, guys, that was great. Okay. I mean, you guys know how much I love Stephen Moffat and his writing and everything like that. And I thought that this was really beautiful. Just to talk about it a little bit, I mean, at first I was nervous where I started reading it and I was like I was really nervous because there was so much technical mumbo jumbo, which was of course on purpose. You know, because he's thinking he's a Deathborg 400 and it's all of this stuff or whatever. But I was like, I'm not going to follow this story. I was like, I'm like trying to read it and make it sound like flow correctly and be kind of entertaining for you guys. But I'm also sitting here like, okay, what am I saying? It's all like, I was really worried, like for the first few bits, I guess kind of before the doctor showed up in his head, that I was like, oh my God, am I not going to understand the story? This is going to be like so crazy. But I did. It all worked out in the end. Thank you, Stephen. But sorry that I could not say Carpagnon. K. We're going with K. I don't know why I can't say that. Or I might be saying it correctly, but it's like tongue-tying me a little bit. So it's just easier to say K. Okay. This is beautiful. I mean, genuinely, I've talked to you guys before so much about, you know, kind of weird sometimes when I talk to certain people about my channel, like in my real life, because they don't get it. They don't get the importance of kind of sharing your love and sharing all of that about TV shows and stories and characters. And, you know, it's not really all that important. But I could argue that during tough times, you know, where people are going through things or people are, you know, particularly this year, there was a lot of tough times that we all kind of went through. Genuinely, I mean, let's be real. Stories and characters that inspire us and help us and all of that is very important. Distractions are important. Ways to kind of give your mind a little bit of a mental break are important. And, you know, you think about this kid who's obviously had a rough life. I think it was mentioned that his parents kind of left him and he's struggling mentally and all of that stuff. And it's so easy to feel so lost on your own in certain things like that, even if you are surrounded by people who are trying to help you. Sometimes the only thing that you can really, sometimes the only thing that speaks to you is a character from TV or a story or writing or something like that. And it does help you. I talked about this, you know, particularly at the end of my time of the doctor reaction. But 11 helped me so much. That year in particular, I mean, you know, I've been doing this for a while and some years are rougher than others. This was a tough one for me as well. But that year was kind of tough for me. The year that I kind of went through the, you know, the 11th Doctor and everything. And I mean, 11 is my favorite for so many reasons, my favorite Doctor. However, like so much of who he was and so much of what he said and so much of the wisdom he wanted to kind of impart helped me through some not so great times in my life. And there are other TV characters who have done very similar things on other shows. You know, just, I mean, so many. I was going to go into it, but, you know, we don't need to make this video is probably long enough with me reading this whole thing, but it's absolutely, you know, don't ever feel ashamed. I guess that's my point, of caring about TV or caring about movies, or, you know, getting emotional at television, you know, or anything like that. Or, you know, using maybe some writing that you've heard or whatever to help you through some tough times. And also, it's just really important to always, you know, to be able to have an escape, to be able to kind of turn off the anxieties, turn off everything that's going on in your life that maybe could be tough, and take, you know, that moment to escape to a world where there are Deathborg 400s and Umpty Ums. I did not try to impersonate the woohoo, because just saving your ears mostly. Yeah, so that was lovely. And now I swear I'm never gonna, like, I'm gonna watch, I feel like every time that intro starts now, I'm gonna think like the umpty um, and then when, you know, the kind of music comes in, it's the doctor, you know, saving the day. That's really, oh God, what a beautiful way to look at it. This was lovely. Okay, I think that's about it. I hope that you guys did enjoy this. If it was something that maybe you were kind of interested in watching, I guess more so listening to, not really much to watch, but it was something that I thought could be a little bit different and kind of a interesting day for Doctor Who December. So I do hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.